Hey, reseller besties, we are chugging along on our challenge. And friends, I am feeling good. I got a lot of listings up today and I found some good stuff. So, thrift haul incoming, friends. But today we are going to talk about measurements. Do you add measurements to your listing? Let me know down in the comments below. We add measurements to every one of our listings, and I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of measurements, and you can decide what's best for your reselling business. First of all, let's kick it off with the pros. The whole point of for me for putting measurements in listing is that I want to be as transparent as possible, and I don't want you asking me questions. I want all the information that the buyer needs to make a decision to be in the listing so that I don't have to be constantly going back, getting things out of packages, measuring it, all of that stuff. And I even add words into the listing like stretchy or has a lot of stretch or has no stretch. That way it can help a person if they're on the bubble gauge. But some pros of adding the measurements to the listing is that it is going to reduce returns. If people know what the measurements are and they're aware of their body and their measurements, they know exactly what they're getting. This younger generation, both of my daughters, they know their bodies and if something is going to fit or not. They've grown up buying things online. Me, not so much. I'm like, I'm much more hesitant to buy things that don't have a stretch online. So I need those measurements. Next, it builds buyer trust. It looks professional when you have measurements and dimensions of something, and it just adds more detail to your listing. It helps with cross listing, especially on eBay where measurements matter. There's lots of, I find eBay shoppers want more details, and it's easier to get a case opened on you on eBay, and nobody wants that. Like I said earlier, it's going to save time in the long run. You don't have to answer that question. What's the inseam on these pants? Or how are these high rise? It's already in the listing and the buyer can refer to it. And I have still, even though it's in the listing, have people comment, what are the measurements on this? Or they'll ask for some obscure measurement like the opening of the leg. Um, and then I'll have to open it for that. But we do pit to pit length on shirts, and then on pants, waist, rise, and inseam, dresses, pit to pit, length, and waist. So hopefully, like those are enough measurements for people to make a good decision. And also, I think adding measurements boost clicks into converts them into sales. Um, Buyers love details not only in pictures but in the actual language, in the writing and the description. And when they see good clear pictures and the measurements, they can purchase with confidence. Now, pros. It's going to take you more time on the front end as the seller, as the person who's got to take all these measurements, and it's just another thing for you to do. So also it's going to slow down your workflow. And if you're trying to get a certain amount of listings up each day, it can be like just another step that you have to do, even in your batching of, it's another like step in the batch process. So instead of just photographing, you have to photograph and then measure, then package. And some people find that as a step that they could just easily cut out. Um, Measurements are not always needed. If the item is stretchy, we don't add measurements to kids' items. But if it's stretchy, it's like a basic, um, we don't add them, and that's fine. But for most 99% of things that we do. And adding measurements does not increase the price. So you are doing a step that isn't going to add. any value, isn't going to profit you any more if the item sells. It's just purely for to get the item sold. So some people see it as like, if they ask for it, I'll provide it, but I'm not going to do all that extra work up front. So let me know what you think. Either way is fine. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on adding measurements into listings. Do you or don't you? And share with us your reasoning why. I will see you in the next one. We're going to stay consistent in those listings with or without measurements. Do not let perfect be the enemy of good and finished and done and complete. So don't get in your own way, and I will see you in the next one, friends.